reaction on the stock game. Devina and Avan join us for the same. Devina.
Thanks a lot for that. Well, today is a new week and you've got 3 new experts joining us in the stock game, a brand new show for you. New stocks, a whole host of new stocks. The 12 stocks is what I'm going to start off with. Our experts on the show this morning are VVL and Shastri. We've got Ashwini Gujral. We've got Rajat Bose as well, who are going to be taking you through their portfolios in today's session. But before that, let's quickly run you through the rules of the stock game.
Okay, so essentially it's a portfolio building exercise. We give an amount of 5 lakh rupees to our 3 experts. They have to deploy this money into 4 individual stocks. Only one stock can be from the F&O space. Now remember, if it's a short sell call coming in the cash market, that position must be squared off by the end of the session and replaced by new stocks. And in addition to that, so that it's more exciting and so that there are more stocks, there is a compulsory churn of 2 stocks every single day. On Friday, we will announce the winner who has made the most amount on an absolute basis. Alright, so those are essentially the rules. Let's run you through what the experts have chosen for day 1 in terms of their portfolios. Are they going long? Do they have a particular strategy for their stocks? Is it going to be a thrust on the mid-cap space? Let's talk about individual stocks as well as first have our experts walk us through their entire portfolio with their targets and their stop losses. Mr. Shastri, we're going to start off with you. You've got a buy across the board in your 4 stocks. Run us through the targets and stop losses first.
Yeah, in fact, I have chosen in this dynamic market scenario where we are reacting quite negatively to the news flows. There, I felt that I should protect the money at the instant stage. So, keeping that in mind, I have kept my portfolio quite diversified and distributed the 5 lakhs into 4 stocks in equal proportion. And there I have chosen Tata Steel with a target of about 650 and a stop loss of about 544, and Godrej Industries with a target of about 230 and stop loss of 192, and Idea Cellular again with a target of about 85 and stop loss of 73, and Titan Industries with a target of 4,800 and a stop loss of 4,333.
Alright, those are 4 stocks there from Mr. Shastri's portfolio. All 4 longs coming in there. A diversification between different sectors as you can see on your screens. But let's go across to Ashwini Gujral now to find out what he's got in his portfolio. Remember, last time around when Ashwini debuted on the show, he was the winner of the stock game. This time around, once again, a little bit of a bearish note there to your entire portfolio, Ashwini.
Well, there are 2 sides to the market and I have taken the bearish side today. Hind Oil Exploration Futures sell with a stop of 190, target of 165. Exide Industries sell with a stop of 158, target of 142. TTK Prestige sell with a stop of 2650, target of 2200. And the only buy is Coal India, buy with a stop about 390, target of 410.
Okay, so that's a bearish stance coming across 3 stocks, and Coal India is the only one that Ashwini is bullish on. We'll have to see whether it's working in favor. And finally, on to Rajat Bose. Rajat, you've gone just like Mr. Shastri, and you've got a buy call across the board.
You see, my basic assumption was that we are very close to the support that I thought would work out. That is 53.20, and that's why I sort of attempted buying at lower levels, and the stocks that I went long on, if you look at Friday's charts and if you look at their performance in the recent past, they were suggesting that they were actually having much better relative strength compared to the others. But unfortunately, my feeling is that I have got stopped out on all. But just like the last edition in which I played, that was 5th week, in the 7th edition of the game, even here I have used very close stop losses to minimize my losses, but even then I suppose I have lost a fair bit of money today. NIIT I chose 57 at 57, and I was looking for a target of 58.40. Reliance Infrastructure, that stock was showing considerable strength, but unfortunately that must have got stopped out the first. Hindustan Petroleum and LIC Housing Finance, 2 contracts. So these are 4 buys, but I think all of them have got stopped out.
All right, we will discuss those individual stocks, per se as to why Rajat has picked them out for you. Though he's got stopped out, still the view, why is it positive on these counters? That's the portfolio like and how it's performing in today's session. That's VVL and Shastri's portfolio, losing out on Tata Steel, Godrej, Idea, making money on Titan Industries. So overall losing about 0.7% in his portfolio. Now taking another view on the markets, which is going the bearish way, we've got Ashwini Gujral, who's making massive gains on an HOEC, Exide, which is Lost Steam, and Coal India is also one stock where he's making money. So in the day one of his portfolio, he's already making 5.5% on his overall portfolio. Closer to 30,000 rupees is what Ashwini is making. And Rajat Bose, as we've already said, he's been stopped out on all of those stocks, so losing money on all of his stock, but he's kept tight stop losses, so losing closer to 9,000 rupees in today's session. The first stock then in VVL and Shastri's portfolio is a Tata Steel. Why have you chosen this one, Mr. Shastri?
See, in fact, the commodity prices, particularly the input cost prices for the steel segment, are coming down. That's a positive factor. And that apart, the recent deal of Riversdale, which has given Tata Steel almost 100% returns in a span of just 4 years, makes me feel that the substantial inflow of cash into the company to the extent of almost 5,011.88 crores makes this quarter for Tata Steel quite a positive one. So keeping that in mind, I feel that there is going to be substantial appreciation in the stock, and maybe today, due to the overall general market sentiment based on rumor mongering, this stock got beaten down, but it has substantial potential upside still. So I'm quite buoyant about this stock.
Okay, target of 650 on a Tata Steel. Let's talk about HOEC. Ashwini down 3%. How much lower?
Well, I think I've given targets of about 165. Each time, oil is in a bear market, Aban Offshore, Hind Oil Exploration, etc. good stocks to go short on. Because, once the market starts falling, these guys, the volume kind of compresses, the liquidity vanishes. So these stocks tend to fall much more. So we sell this with a stop about 190 and see if we can get a target of 165.
All right, still closer to its target. 172 is where HOEC futures are trading at. So watch out for that one. He's already making a good 3.5% at last count. Rajat, coming to you, you've selected an NIIT to go along on.
See, NIIT, if you look at the chart, it was actually giving a price volume breakout on the last day, and I mean the target that I chose for NIIT was a very close target, 58.40. In fact, under normal market conditions, NIIT could have made it to even 59 or 59.5 in a very short period of time, but given this kind of a major sell-off that has happened, now I tend to think that I wish I hedged my portfolio today, but sort of felt that it was very close to the Nifty support level of 53.20, which would have been held unless, of course, this kind of a thing happened. Unfortunate, anyway.
Okay, but there's always tomorrow, so you can, change your strategy, Rajat. But let's talk about the second stock then in everyone's portfolio. And Idea Cellular is a buy call, Mr. Shastri. What's the view as to how much higher it can go?
See, Idea Cellular, in fact, among the entire cellular pack, entire telecom pack particularly, has shown a fabulous growth in Q4 as per their result, which they have declared in the recent past. So I feel going forward too, given the kind of growth tandem that they have been showing for the past 1 year, they may continue to do well, and this stock may find some good amount of upside. So keeping that in mind, I have recommended, and my target is 85, and current stop loss is 73, and currently it is at 76.70. So I'm quite safe on this stock, and going forward, I feel definitely it will reach my target within the time frame of these 5 days.
All right, so that is an Idea Cellular there, and the target and stop losses, as Mr. Shastri pointed out. Ashwini, coming to you, Exide Industries, that's the other one that you've gone short on again, 2.5% lower, but weekly fluctuations quite strong there. It made a high of about 158.5, then came down to 142.5, and now currently at 148.5.
Now what starts getting hit is not your infrastructure or realty stocks, but really stocks which have appreciated. So there was a bearish formation on Friday on Exide, And the point is, a lot of people should be long on this stock in this kind of resistance zone of 160, 155, 160. So that becomes a good area to go short on, because if autos are kind of the sales are coming down, etc., then that would have some impact on auto ancillary as well. And this is a stock which hasn't fallen. So we went short on this one with a stop of about 158, and target of 142 is possible.
Okay, 149.5 at last count for an Exide. Talk about a Reliance Infrastructure plummeted about 6%, Rajat, in this session. Given that you have a buy call, would you revise that and have a bit of a cautious stance now on the stock?
You see, I would still go with the buy call, because if you are a technical analyst and if you follow the precepts of technical analysis, this stock, if you look at the weekly chart, if you look at the daily chart, you will find that they are showing strength on both. I mean, despite the fact that the stock has gone down in today's session, if you look at the oscillators, both on daily end of day chart as well as weekly chart, this is giving a positive divergence. At the same time, the stock has shown some kind of traction in the last 3 trading sessions prior to today. So if you are following technicals, you would definitely look for a buy, and if you would choose Reliance Infra. And if you ask me where would I go bearish on Reliance Infra, I would say below 500.
All right, Reliance Infra still, Rajat, saying that there is an upside potential on this one, though it's crushed down lower. But that's keeping in mind the overall sentiment of the market. Remember, we breached the 5,300 mark on the Nifty in intraday trade. Right now, just about tottering closer to this levels, 200 points gone up the Sensex as well. We'll come back with this stock game and discuss 2 other remaining stocks of all of our 3 experts.
But for now, take down these grids. 3 ways to participate on the show. bnsn@etnow.tv is where you can write in. Keep sending in the SMSs. I'm sure you have lots of them to 58888. Or just join in live by dialing into 022-2483-7111.
Alright, welcome back. You're watching the stock game right here on ET Now with our 3 experts. We've got Mr. Shastri, Ashwini Gujral, as well as Roger Post. Let's quickly run you through the next set of stocks in their portfolios. So we go across to Mr. Shastri now. Godrej Industries, Mr. Shastri, is what you have gone long on today. A down dip day for this one, but not just today, over the week as well. This one's seen a fairly volatile session, but closing in on the upside.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even now, right now, if you see the negative scenario is just 3.45 when compared to the purchase price of last Friday. So given that, I feel we are not in a great loss at this point of time. But I'm very confident that this stock will fetch good returns with a target of about 230 and stop loss of 192, because mainly, again, the input costs are substantially coming down. That's an indication of the company's results from Q4, and even that kind of scenario of what you call decreasing input costs is continuing. So given that the Q1, the June end quarter will also be quite good for this company. So keeping that in mind, and keeping also in mind that this is not an interest sensitive stock and commodity based stock, so I have chosen this. So I feel that target is still achievable, and I'm still buoyant on that.
Okay, that's the call coming in on a Godrej Industries, which Mr. Shastri has a bullish call on. Talk about a TTK Prestige, and it is higher by about 0.5% in today's session. Ashwini, it's been on an upward trajectory on the charts, but are you expecting a breach in the trend line?
In a bearish market, these pressure cooker type things are unlikely to work for a long time. 40 plus P ratio. Yes, it's in a great uptrend, but all trends tend to end, and I think these stocks, a lot of people are in these stocks, so if they start collapsing, there will be a lot of damage that can happen. So it's okay, it's that kind of stock that you hang on to with a short, and one of these days will again give you that 7-8% type of move. So So we shorted it with a 2650 type of stop, and target of 2200 is possible.
In the last 7 days, the stock has gone lower by about 7.5%. But remember, even Hawkins and TTK Prestige, both of them had done really well over the last few trading sessions. But coming to you, Rajat, and your stock is an HPCL. You've got a buy call on this one. There was obviously fundamental news that it is looking to buy a plant in Europe and may consider the Leondil-Baffle facility as well in Marseille. What's your take on HPCL right now, and keeping in mind the crude oil prices as well?
See, the crude oil prices are going down, and HPCL as such is on a recovery mode, and on the last trading sessions it has moved up by more than 9.5 points, and all I was expecting it to touch something like 389, but unfortunately for this sell-off, it must have hit the stop loss. And but I would still say that this is one of the stocks that was showing maximum, one of the stocks that was showing maximum relative strength. And if anybody is looking for a fresh buying opportunity among say blue chips, HPCL could be a very good investment bet going forward, because a stock that becomes a pariah stock, and then when it starts to recover, and even when bad news surfaces, it doesn't fall much. That is the classic case of an investment buy, and that is the reason I feel even in the short term HPCL would recover. Maybe I have lost money here, doesn't really matter, but then HPCL looks good even from a medium to long term perspective.
Okay, a prudent buy in the oil marketing space. HPCL is what Rajat likes. Let's talk about the last stock then, and it's a Titan Industries, Mr. Shastri, which you like, a very active stock doing well in today's session as well, and it's just been included in the BSE 100.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it is giving on per share basis about 90 rupees return in a day. So that way it's making my portfolio reduce its absolute losses just to 0.5%, and on per share basis also, if you look at it, it's making gains to the extent of 1.5%. So keeping that in mind, definitely yes, this is a good pick. And basically this was picked up by me on the basis of the bonus that the company has announced, that is 1:1, and also the stock split of 1-for-10, and the record date is fast approaching, that is 24th June. So given that this stock should further appreciate, and my target of 4,800 will be reached in the meanwhile.
All right, that is the call on Titan Industries. The 4,600 odd levels is where it's trading at. Ashwini has also spoken about this counter in great detail. But coming to you, Ashwini, on your pick, and you've got a Coal India, which is now a buy call at your end. Remember, there are exclusions in the Sensex, which is likely to be Reliance Infra and Reliance Communication, and replacing it in the Sensex would be a Coal India as well as a Sun Pharmaceuticals. Is that the primary reason, and are you seeing more on the charts for a Coal India?
See, as a technical analyst, my mandate is not to bother about reasons. Coal India was doing well before it was included in the Sensex. It's doing well after it's included in the Sensex. All this is, just for the day, some kind of trigger. The buy actually came on Friday in market hours when the news wasn't there. So I think it's doing fairly well on all reactions. It finds buying. So buy it around levels of 390. Targets of 410, 415. Natural resources, it's difficult to go wrong on them unless you are with oil marketing type stocks. So commodities, if equities have to do well, commodities will lead them. And this is one stock that's holding quite well. Whenever commodities bounce back for the longer term, this could outperform on the upside.
Okay, so regardless of its inclusion in the Sensex, Ashwini likes in fact a Coal India. But moving away from that stock, you do have an LIC Housing Finance, which is emerging as a buy for you, Rajat. It's been a bit quiet on the charts. What are the kind of moves that you're expecting?
See, LIC Housing Finance, in the recent past, I think Devina and you were discussing with K.K. Mistry, and in the interview, Mr. Mistry said that housing loans are not interest rate sensitive, at least the kind of loans that people take here. And LIC Housing has been consolidating. Let alone HDFC, even LIC Housing Finance as a blue chip stock looks very good. In fact, going forward, my feeling is that over the medium term, you can expect a target of something like 270 to about 300, and for the long term, it can even move up higher. And why did I choose it today? The reason was that it has given a breakout on the last trading session, and I was gunning for a target of 232 plus, which was eminently achievable had this fortuitous event not been there. That is the sell-off.
All right, but keeping very tight stop losses there on all of his stocks, which is the reason why his downside is limited. He kept a stop loss of 227.5 on LIC Housing Finance. It's currently at 224.5. But let's quickly run you through the calculator plays for all our experts who are playing this stock game with us this week. We've got PVL and Shastri. This is how his portfolio stacks up, making money only on a Titan Industries, losing out on the remainder of the three. So overall, making a loss of about 2,000 odd rupees. That's Ashwini Gujaral's portfolio. Massive gains coming across the board, just losing out marginally on a TTK Prestige. Money is coming in from Exide and an HOAC Future. He's making 5% in a matter of just one day on his overall portfolio. So 26,000 rupees is what he's making. Rajat Bose getting stopped out on all of his stocks, HPCL, LIC Housing Finance Futures, NIIT and Reliance Intra, making a loss of closer to about 2% but keeping tight stop losses in order to limit his loss on the downside. Take time then to thank all our experts for joining us this morning on the stock game. Ashwini, Mr. Shastri, as well as Rajat Bose, thank you very much for playing the game with us. But Rajat Bose obviously stays on with us to address the portfolio which is coming up next.
Mr. Rankawat's portfolio will be discussed with Rajat Bose, but not just that, we've got a few stocks that we will be talking about as well. Just run you through those names. We're going to be discussing three stocks in particular, but just to remind our viewers, this is how you can take part. In fact, if you've got any questions and queries, we've got an email ID, bnsn@etnow.tv, on which you can send us an email. You can also send us an SMS to 58888 or be a live caller on the show by dialing into 022 2483 7111.